You're listening to the Jax and Gio Show once again. Let's see, what are we on now?
We're on episode 5.
5. Time sure flies.
It certainly does. And we're going to start the show off kind of on the coattails of our last episode.
Yes.
At the end of it, you may have remembered, I had said that we are hopefully, after I pay a fee, going to be on Spotify. And let's just say plans changed. Plans have changed. For the best interest of the production, we're not going to be on Spotify. We're running a different operation. We are on, at the moment, you can find all our episodes on Blogger. And through Blogger, our episodes are hosted by archive.org. And they are all on YouTube as well. And we are hoping to get it on some other streaming platforms soon. But the show is now officially on YouTube and Blogger. The official address for the show, and we'll be reading it again at the end of the show, is the Jax and Gio Show.blogspot.com, which is the TheJaxandGioShow.blogspot.com.
Sounds about right.
Right now we've got, on the YouTube, we've got episodes 1 to 3, which each have 2 parts to them. Same with the blog. On the blog, you can either choose between the YouTube version or the audio version on archive.org. I recommend the audio version for if you want to download it and put it on like an MP3 or your iPhone. Nice little thing to listen to later, but you do you. It's all going up. We have episode 4 they'll be up soon. So if you want to give it a listen, that's the way to. And we're also on Twitter and Instagram. Our Twitter handle is @JaxGio, and our Instagram handle is Jax Gio Show, JaxGioshow. That's it. That's all for distribution now, but we're happy with that.
Oh, we're very happy with where we're at right now.
Yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm going to swing it over to Jax now.
Tings are happening, boy.
Tings are definitely happening.
Let's see. Over the first 4 episodes that we've done, we've gone to town on books and movies and TV shows.
Definitely.
So I figured today would be a good day to expand into another popular form of media. My favorite form of media, music. Music. So I figure a good way to do this is to just go to town on our favorites. And mine, to kick things off, personally, I worship the house of heavy metal music. Now, I suppose I should maybe give a bit of a backstory behind this, shouldn't I? Let's see, how far back does this go? I would say when I was maybe 6 or 7 years old. See, my dad got me in on all this stuff, and it was about when I was 6 or 7 years old, the music I was listening to at that time. My dad was getting me started on like AC/DC and Leonard Skinner and Kiss and bands like that. Rock and roll,
Mm-hmm.
But you see, on this particular day in 2006 or 2005, I remember it vividly in that I was just kicking back. I think I was watching SpongeBob or something. It was a lousy day. Nobody was around. And my dad, as he usually did, he starts playing music on our computer. He plays this particular song. And I think, what on earth is this? In a positive way. And it drew me towards my dad playing this music. Now, not much takes away a 6-7-year-old kid's attention from his SpongeBob or his Saturday cartoons. But this music did. And I went up to him. I said, Dad, what are you playing? And the song he was playing was called Fear of the Dark by Iron Maiden. And it was roughly 15 years on, my personal favorite band still. It broadened my musical horizon as a 6-7-year-old kid hearing this British heavy metal music. And not long after that, I was hearing music from more British metal like Black Sabbath and Judas Priest And not long after that, I was hearing stuff on this continent. And so I heard bands like Metallica and Megadeth and fast music like that, called thrash metal. Gio, I don't know how familiar you are with the kind of absurd number of metal subgenres there are.
Somewhat.
But, this is a good
I
thing.
will admit I am a tad ignorant. I think I need to be more...
Well, allow me to educate you on heavy metal music then. Let's see. The first heavy metal album. This is a big argument that's been going on since the genre first popularized. Mm-hmm. See, people will give the influence or, I suppose, the creation credits of heavy metal to old bands that influenced the sound. Now, those bands, if you ask people, there would be bands like Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Cream, bands like that. But personally, I would give the credit of the first heavy metal album towards Black Sabbath. Their first album came out in 1970. Nothing sounded like that. Mm-hmm. And it was they had incorporated what at the time was called the Devil's Note. And there's a certain minor note that it was frowned upon almost to hit it when you were making music. And the first riff you ever hear, and again, this was 1970, nothing sounded like what Black Sabbath was making. And the first notes that you hear on the first Black Sabbath album go, dun, dun, dun. And then it got super quiet, and then they punch into that riff again, and the rest is history.
And that album actually had an anniversary quite recently, hadn't it?
It certainly did. It turned 50.
Wow.
Just this past February, I think. And with the anniversary of that album, a lot of metalheads, including myself, celebrated the anniversary of the genre, the creation of the genre, and the anniversary of the first ever heavy metal album, the first real heavy metal album. Now, over the years, Gio, metal music has expanded to, again, as we teased there, these subgenres. I can't count, I don't have enough fingers to count how many there are. I will try and list however many there are right now. So you have, I'm just going to name them. I'm not even going to give you, we don't have the time to list off the subgenres and the bands that could be associated with said subgenres. So let's see. You got classic metal, doom metal, thrash metal, black metal, death metal, Norwegian death metal. You have, let's see, deathcore, metalcore, grindcore, porno grind. That's an actual title of a subgenre.
Oh.
Porno grind. You also have grindcore. Let's see, what else can I think of? That's all I got on me right now. There's so many. Speed metal, power metal, pirate metal, Viking metal.
I've heard my pirate metal, and I do indeed
That's
like
right.
it.
Well, to give an example of something of those, I think we just listed off like 14 or so subgenres, because you've shown interest in pirate metal before,
Yes.
and pirate metal is very fun. One excellent example of pirate metal that I encourage you all to hear is Ailstorm.
My favorite.
And it's so good. It's so good.
Can I just say thank you to this man for turning me on to a genre I did not know existed, but now love with all my heart.
Ailstorm is so much fun. Pirate metal.
Yes.
I would call. Yeah, so those are all those. See, I'm a simple man. If there's metal on it, then I'll listen to it. I rarely use subgenres. If I need to really describe something, I'll describe it in a subgenre. But it's all good metal to me. As I've said, my Iron Maiden is my personal favorite. I'm a pretty old school kind of metalhead, you know.
And he's repping.
I am
Iron
rocking
Maiden.
my Iron Maiden shirt today. I caught this at the most recent time I saw Iron Maiden, which was, I think, August last year. They played in Montreal.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm pretty old school metalhead, not to discount any of the great new stuff I hear, but I love those old bands like Iron Maiden, of course, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest. You know, those a lot of bands I like are from what was called this new wave of British heavy metal, which was about early 70s, about the 70s, the decade of the 70s is when these bands were crossing over to America from England. You got, again, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Motorhead being one of those, Tigers of Pantang, another one, Saxon. And it helped pave the way, I would say, for heavy metal in North America, not even just the United States. And the influence that those particular bands had is glaring, because one of, I would say, maybe the first subgenre that came up from the creation of heavy metal music was what's called thrash metal. And that credit is given greatly to what this new sound that bands were really trying to create with these old new wave British heavy metal bands and combining it with punk rock music. And so you had these extremely heavy guitar tones that were fast as lightning. And it was so new. I just recall now, it wasn't quite the first subgenre. You could argue the first subgenre was a hair metal or glam metal, which are bands like Motley Crue and Poison. You might be able to throw Def Leppard in there. Bands like that. Bands that are very, not necessarily theatrical, but they put on a show. You know, they cared a lot about kind of dressing up. Twisted Sister is another good example of old school hair metal.
And there actually, I remember, because particularly prior to, I think it was around the time we actually met, I watched a very interesting video on the PMRC. And
yes,
the absolute,
that's right.
Absolute mess that was. And very interesting situation. He was, I believe, one of the members of Twisted Sister.
That was Dee Snider, yes, the front man.
He gave an excellent speech up there.
Just tore them to shreds.
Exactly. His speech alone, and hopefully I'd like to do a thing in the future where we both review. It's going to be weird to review that, but I'd love to review those videos, those court videos.
That'd be cool.
But that speech he gives, absolutely fantastic.
That was an interesting point in time. I believe that was 1984. There was this particular list of songs that the PMRC had released, which is called the Filthy 15.
Oh, yes.
And songs, I think I could name a few off the top of my head. There were bands like Wasp. There was an AC/DC song on that list called Let Me Put My Love in You. That was on there for like sexual innuendos and stuff like that. They had the Twisted Sister song, We're Not Gonna Take It, on there for violence. And they also had a certain Judas Priest song called Eat Me Alive up there. And Dee Snider. He tore them a new one. It was glorious.
No, I'm not 100% sure. I think that one was targeting metal, but weren't they targeting Prince? I think, wasn't he on the list?
They very well could have been. It definitely was not exclusively a target at heavy metal music. It was honestly anything that how can I describe it? Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that was a very
I'd love for those
odd time.
I'd love for those people who made the list to just compare that and just listen to the radio. Like, just put it to it and say, was it really that bad?
No. I mean, that's easy for me to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of a brief history of heavy metal, how a couple subgenres came up there, and I'll give a shout out to one of my particular favorite newer albums, released in 2010 by a band called Sabaton. There's an album they released called Coat of Arms. I call it album of the decade of the 2010s. One of my favorite albums I ever heard. Amazing riffs, amazing lyrical content, just amazing production, amazing album all around. It is 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100 perfection, as close to perfection as you can get in my books. All right. My 15 minutes of gushing about heavy metal music, I think, is a good spot to ask you, Gio.
Now before,
what are you going on about?
Before we go, I'd like to. You mentioned Sabaton.
Yes.
You actually now. If I'm wrong, I'm probably going to cut this out. But you actually got to speak to them, if I'm correct.
I wish I would love to if they were ever to come through town. I would not at all hesitate to shoot them off an email, asking them if they'd love to chat. Let me see, who might you be mistaking here? I did talk to the front man of Ailstorm.
Yes, I know Ailstorm.
I did talk to the front man of Ailstorm.
Okay, I apologize for that.
No.
I'm just going to plug it for him. But Jackson has, and I try to listen to it every Sunday. He has a fantastic metal-themed radio show. He's got great interviews. He talks to some great metal people. I have to say that show has opened my heart to metal. And I've heard things that I probably would have never touched. And it's almost made me embrace the genre. And I've actually...
That makes me feel very good that you're saying that, Gio. Because when I started CKDJ's The Pit, I kind of needed a plan and a purpose. Now, I gave it thought. I drew it up because I badly just wanted to do it. But I drew it up with the idea that, someone who's never listened to the genre before might be able to listen to it and find something they like. And someone who already listens to the genre might be able to find something else that they like. So
exactly.
That makes me feel good that you found something in that, Gio. Thank you.
Well, thank you for the music.
Now, I want to know what you like. Goodness, we've been going on for ages about what I like. I want to know what you like. Anything.
Well, I'm going to be honest. For the second half of the show, which is coming soon, I'm going to go absolutely ham on 2 movies I saw. One was unexpectedly good. One was... it was something. But I'm going to quickly talk about a very... I wouldn't call it an old album. But I'd like to talk about an album I've done similar to you. I've done a playthrough with it on the radio. It is Neil Cicerega's Mouth Moods. And getting into it, it's a mashup album. And as the title suggests of Mouth Moods, the mouth part comes from Smash Mouth.
No way.
A lot of Neil Cicerega's mashup work involves Smash. Don't worry, not every track on the album is Smash Mouth, but
not every track is All Star.
No, sadly not. But what makes his album unique is that it's not just music mashups. There's these weird vignettes in between songs, but it's such an odd album in a good way. Let me just pull up some of the track names.
It's entirely mashups.
Entirely mashups.
That's all Smash Mouth.
Not all Smash Mouth.
Not all Smash Mouth. Oh, disregard.
Yes, some of my favorite songs from the album include The Starting Line, Floorcorn, ACVC, Bustin', Tiger, The End, TIME, Smooth, Stand By Me, Wall Spin, Wow Wow, Mouth Pressure, and Track 20, which I probably can't say. One of my favorite songs from this album, and I really recommend, I don't want to spoil it, and I'm only going to tell you about this one track because I absolutely love it. All of these tracks are so masterfully mixed together, and the way they're able to combine the vocals with the audio tracks of different songs is so surprising. And I'm going to steal a line from YouTuber, I believe, God, what's his name? He's the ginger guy, Quentin Reviews. I haven't watched him about 2 or 3 years, but he made an excellent point about these videos, saying that it's what you remember the song in your head. It's like, you know how sometimes your memory mashes up 2 things together?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of exactly what Mouth Moods is. Sorry, apologies. He has a second album called Mouth Sounds. It's very weird the chronologically way these albums fit together, but one of the songs, which is called Smooth, it's track 15 on the album, combines Smooth Criminal by Michael Jackson and the vocal track of 1 Week from the Bare Naked Ladies. And it's unironically,
That's awesome.
I know. And I unironically think it's so much better than both of the original songs. In fact, I would say it's even better than the original Michael Jackson Smooth Criminal song. I would go that
funny.
far. And
I'm going to have to listen to that.
We're going to have to listen to it. It's such a weird... it's such a weird mix. Like the way these songs, like it's stuff that someone would never have thought to put together. And I say that in the best way possible. I absolutely love the album. He has 2 other albums. There's Mouth Sounds, Mouth Silence. Mouth Silence is like a joke because there's no Smash Mouth on it, but there is. It's very weird. Check out Neil Cicerega's albums. Check out Jackson's stuff first, because his music selection, I'll say, is better. But Mouth Moods is something silly that you want to put on to like
check out Gio's stuff.
Yeah, check out everything.
Check out everything. Do not be closed-minded. Be open-minded to all music.
And be open-minded in the thought that we will be back for part 2, where I am going to be talking about my theater experience seeing the Impractical Jokers movie.
Oh, this is going to be good.
And not only that, but another live theater experience of the Love Live viewing party.
That's a callback.
Yes. Part 2 coming soon. Any last words?
This is going to be good.